Hi everybody and welcome to another exciting episode of the Ungrownups video transmission. Today we're going to be taking a look at the MakeToys or the MakeToys, I honestly don't know which, giant Type-61. This is, of course, a third-party version of Devastator, of the Constructicons from the old G1. I even think this 6-1 here may even be an homage to G1, because it sort of looks like G1. I've heard this referred to as Green Giant, and a lot of websites have it listed as Green Giant. And at the time of this recording, here we are on the 1st of March, 2014, this big guy is still available on BigBadToyStore.com for $379.99. So there's a link below if you really want to get your hands on this very hot item. Now, this guy was released a couple of years ago, and he was released, as you can see, there are 6 Constructicons, and he was released in waves of a single pack that had 2 vehicles in it. So they were released in 3 different waves, 2 at a time, and they were all yellow. But everybody was holding out for the green and purple version. And so MakeToys, whatever it is, they've decided to give us this awesome figure. Excuse me. MakeToys, or MakeToys, whatever it is, has decided to give us this awesome figure in one gigantic gift set, along with an extra head sculpt. So let's get this guy spun around here. On the back, you can see, hopefully that glare is not too terrible, but you can see each one of the vehicles, each one of the Constructicons in their vehicle mode and in robot form, and you can also see how they're sort of like coming together and forming this one big gigantic Devastator. And you can see how all the electricity and sparks are coming together. It looks really, really nice. So here you have versions of the 2 different head sculpts, one with a working mouth, one without. You can see how the weapons can either form, they're not really showing the gun on this, but you can see how the weapons also form together to make one large, big, like hammer staff looking weapon. So this is, I would not say a holy grail figure for me, but I would definitely say this was a figure that I never thought I would get a chance to get my hands on because of being late to the game with it. I figured my opportunity to pick this piece up was long gone, and thankfully, this guy has been made available again. So thank you, BBTS.com, for making this available again, or MakeToys, whatever it is, for producing this awesome gift set. So without further ado, let's get this box opened up and take a closer look at this guy inside. So once you get the outer box opened up, you're just treated to a pretty standard brown shipper. Just has the logo and the name of the figure here on the top. And we'll go ahead and lift this off and see if you can see the figure inside. Push that back a little bit. And we'll just sort of pan up so you can see, and I'm sorry this probably isn't the best. There's probably a lot of glare coming in through the window. But you can see you've got the excavator, the mobile crane, you've got the bulldozer, the dump truck. These are the 2 add-on hands. You've got his gun, you've got the front end loader, and the cement mixer, along with back behind her. You can see this is both the chest plate, and back there is the crane for the mobile crane. For Hook. I'm not going to be able to refer to these guys as their MakeToys version names. They're just so bland, so probably throughout the review I'm going to refer to them as their G1 Constructicon names. So you may have to get used to that, or it may just come second nature to everybody else. So let's get this guy cracked open, and you can see how he comes in this double clamshell. And I don't want all the pieces to come spilling out. So let's see if I can do this without making that happen, because it's already starting to come loose. So you can see here how all the pieces come. He's basically in Devastator mode. You basically have both Scrapper, Mixmaster, Long Haul, and Hook all in their Devastator mode, with very little done actually to Scavenger and Bonecrusher. They are basically in vehicle mode. So let's get these guys opened up, free them from the plastic, and take a closer look at each one individually. Okay, we're going to start off with Scavenger. This is not going to be in any particular order other than the order that's on the back of the box. Really, all of these guys have their pros and cons, and so, might as well start with Scavenger as good as any. Before we get started, though, I do want to show off that I did order a set of Repro labels, Decepticon logos. I can put a link down in the About section below, so you can point down there if you want to find a set of these to pick up on your own. You can see they come with various different sizes of logos. And anytime you order from Repro labels, if you order more than, I think, like $20 or $25 worth of stickers, they throw in this set, which you may not be able to see all that well. But basically, it is a set of clear white Decepticon and Autobot logos. So I'm going to use some of these and some of these when we get to it to add a little bit of old school G1 flair. Now, to be fair, Repro Labels does offer a set of actual Repro labels for this particular set. I believe you look under the Classics tab and you'll find a set. And they don't offer one set for all 6. They offer 3 sets of 2. And I remember them being like about $11 a piece, or one of them maybe $7. I'm not sure. But I think they all were like $11. And so basically it was going to be like $33 plus like their standard $3 shipping. And, you know, basically $36 was more than I was willing to pay for some stickers, when all I really need is some Decepticon logos to sort of get these guys where I want them. Now, starting off with Scavenger here, I will show that you can put his weapon, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know if the weapon placement is sort of something that if this is official or not. I didn't go by anything. I just sort of put their individual weapons where I could really get them to fit. So the old adage, you know, get in where you fit in. Well, that's what's going on here with his weapon. So you can see that I just have it plugged in right here on the back, this little back peg, and I have it plugged in right there. So this is his gun. It forms part of the Devastator's weapon as well, and you can slide this out. And, you know, have him use it like that. So we'll just set this off to the side for now, and we'll get back to it when we get him into robot form. So we have the excavator here, Scavenger. He is articulated, and this is the extent of his articulation. This shovel part, the scoop part down here, does not move. It is not articulated. These pistons do not work. It goes out, and then this section goes up. And you do have to sort of like hold on to his little arm bit right here where it's connected, or it will do that right there. One of the more disappointing facts is the fact that the tracks do not have any sort of inset wheels. They don't have any like fake rolly wheels on the bottom. And that's kind of disappointing. My son, who loves construction, you know, bulldozers and scoopers and all kinds of things like that, was really excited to see these guys and play with them. And, you know, on carpet, these things just kind of hang and snag. They don't really roll. So that would have been nice, but, you know, they just sort of slide across. I'm glad we don't have working tracks, but a couple of extra rolly wheels on the bottom, I think, would have really made this guy turn around for me. As you can see, pretty nice vehicle mode. Looks like an excavator. It's really nice. I hope I haven't mistransformed him. I have looked at the instructions a little bit, but not terribly much, and I am going to be referring to them throughout this review just to make sure I don't get anything wrong. And speaking of the instructions, I just wanted to show these off real quick. This is a really nice instruction booklet. We've got nice full-color photos. Let me zoom out real quick so you can see nice full-color photos of the individual vehicle and robot forms. Shows you what weapons go with who, what everything should look like, what Devastator looks like, bunch of information that's all in Japanese, and then color-coded instructions for each one of the vehicles, each one of the Constructicons. So pretty nice, nice big piece of art in the center. Very nice piece of art. Wouldn't mind having that as a little poster. They did put it in the middle, so I guess you could pop these staples out and hang it up if you wanted. That was very nice of them to think to do that. And then it shows you how you need to put everything into Devastator mode here at the end. So very nice. Oh, and it shows you how to construct the different weapons and things like that. So very nice instruction booklet, very high quality paper and high quality cover stock. So it's very nice. The cover is thicker than the inside pages, and that makes for a really nice booklet. So we'll set this off to the side, and we'll get started here on Scavenger. So first thing you want to do is sort of lift him up all the way, and want to rotate this little bit out here. And then from here, you can sort of go about this any way you want. I kind of like tackling the feet first, so we'll just rotate the legs down. Right here on the side is a little break point for the tracks to dislocate the, I guess this basically becomes the knee. And so you'll want to rotate that around. You want to rotate the leg around, fold down the foot, and you want to rotate the foot around and then bring down the heel spur. And that's a pretty lengthy heel spur, and that folds down like that. Same thing on the other side. You want to rotate this around so that the hazard lines are in the front. Rotate down the foot. Flip down the foot, rotate it around, and then bring down the heel spur. So then you want to straighten everybody up, and basically you have the legs done. Then you want to come up here to the top, and you want to separate the upper portion. These are the arms. You can see the head exposed there, and these are really tight joints up here on the upper part of this guy. Just want to extend his arms all the way out, and then sort of work the arms loose, work them down, rotate the hand around. Same thing over here. You want to extend the arms out, and then sort of work them down, rotate the arm around, and then you can just take his excavator, the bucket, and then just fold it down over his arm like that. Then you want to take the head, rotate it around. You do have to kind of like lift it up around, sort of pick it up and get it over this piece here. Rotate it around, and there you have it. There you've got Scavenger. So let's get him in shot. And I will say these guys pose up really nice. And that heel spur really helps. Oh, sorry. I forgot all this part. You just want to rotate. They sort of have it pointing downward. So they have it out. That's kind of how they have it in the instruction manual. So then you can take his gun, slide it out, and then I believe you just take this peg right here and that hole, and I believe you just pull this around and plug that right in. If I'm reading that properly, which I may not be. No, it looks like you take this peg right here and put it into this slot right here. I've played with these guys just a little bit with my son prior to filming this, but I haven't spent too terribly much time with them, so I apologize for getting some of these transformations wrong. And here you have Scavenger, and I got to tell you, he looks pretty cool. I will say that his robot form is probably one of my second least favorites in the set. Bonecrusher is basically the exact same body. His legs transform the same. His arms basically transform exactly the same. So they're almost the same. And so I got to say, I'm not the biggest fan of the track legs. But as you can see, you can bend the knee. As long as you can clear that track and turn it a little bit, you can actually bend the knee quite a ways back. You can lean forward. You got quite a range of motion. Very smooth, very strong. Hip joint, you can, as you can see, you have a really good rocker on the foot, so you can, only on the front, the heel spur doesn't actually lock down, so you can do some pretty dynamic poses with the old scrapper here. I'm sorry, Scavenger. Pretty cool poses. Head's on a nice ball joint. Got to tell you, not a bad looking figure. Not a bad looking figure. Sorry. So I'm thinking where I'm going to put his Decepticon logo is probably right here. Probably get a really, really small one if it'll fit, and either, well, probably right there. Probably right there on that larger silver piece. I think that's where it's going to go in robot form. So, all right, there's old Scavenger. So let's move on to the next one in the instruction guide. Real quickly before we get to Bonecrusher, I did go ahead and put the labels on the sticker, and I just wanted to show where I decided to put them and what sizes I used. I decided to go with the next to the smallest Decepticon logo there, and the smallest Decepticon logo right there on his chest. So very, for me, nice placement, very subtle, not too, it kind of blends in with that purple right there. Well, this is not really purple; it's kind of like a dark blue, but they did the best they can. But I just wanted to show that. I'll try to show that off before transitioning onto the next one each time. So, all right, let's check out Bonecrusher. Okay, so here's the big bad boy of the group, Bonecrusher. As you can see, again, I don't know if this is official or not, but that's just where I found to place his gun. And like Scavenger before him, he does come with the other half of the cannon of the gun. The barrel, I should say, of the gun. So you can pull that out if you want. And where I had that was I just had that little tab right there plugged in right there. That's where I had it. So put this to the side. We'll see this guy again later. And I'm already starting to figure out where I'm going to want. I want his Decepticon logo right here. I'm going to put a big one right here in the middle, just like the old school toy, and then I'm going to take an X-Acto knife and just split it right down the middle, because he has to have it in his scooper plate, whatever you want to call it. And then in robot mode, since this is his chest, it'll go right here. So we'll look at that here in a minute. Yeah, we'll look at that in a minute. I was going to say, maybe we do it now, but as far as articulation goes on this guy, you can lift his shovel part up, and it does have a fair amount of movement here, but it does not go in and out at all, and those kind of come up, so you can get some angle on it. We can, lift it up. You can get some movement there, and that's about it. And again, just like with Scavenger, on the bottom, no rolly wheels, which would have been really, really nice. So you'll see that this guy almost transforms exactly the same or he'll look very similar. So let me zoom out just a little bit. It's a little tight on this guy. And go ahead and show you. You just want to go ahead and separate the legs, just like before. Rotate them down. You can go ahead and split this. And you want to go ahead and wiggle these little pieces apart. And just like before, rotate them around. You'll see that they transform exactly the same as Scavenger's legs. Rotate this around and then fold the heel spur down. They are the exact same leg. And do the same thing on this side. Fold the heel spur down, and you have that leg. So legs are done. I'm going to fold this back and get it out of the way, and then you want to lift this the cab part up. It's hiding his head underneath there, as you can see. And then you want to take his arms, which are laying flat, whereas Scavengers were stacked on top of each other. But other than that, they're identical. So just want to rotate them down. And his hands are actually, I should say these arms aren't identical, because his hands actually fold in. So they sort of unfold. And they are on a ball joint, which is really nice. Or, yeah, ball joint. Same thing here. Rotate the arms down, and then unfold the hand. There's a nice little tab on each one of the hands, make it a little easier for you. But you got to have fingernails. So then, this is the part that's that's a little tricky, is you want to separate these pieces, and then you want to sort of rotate them to the side, and then sort of rotate them back around. So you want to, because they're on a ball joint, so you can just swivel them to the side, and then sort of you have to kind of work around the legs a little bit, rotate them around to the back, just like that. Now's a good opportunity to get the head out. The cab moves basically just to get the head out, but then it goes right back to where it was. So then you can sort of lift this up on the back. Kind of lay that on his back as flat as it'll go. And there you have Bonecrusher. So let's bring his gun in. Same thing as before. There's a little slot right there, a little peg on the inside of the gun, just like his twin Scavenger. And then head's on a ball joint. There's no waist swivel, which would be hard anyway with these side pieces out. But as you can see, again, very nice articulation. Looks great. And like I said before, big space right here on the front for a nice Decepticon logo. I don't know if I zoomed in on the head sculpt with Scavenger. I apologize for that, but there's a nice close-up view. Bonecrusher's head. So, looks really nice. Very nice guy. So, let's get this guy back in vehicle mode, because there's not really much to do with him in that mode, really, before getting him in arm mode. So, let's go ahead and do that, and let's see who's next. Who's going to be our next guy? Because I am going to show this guy with his stickers on, but it looks like Hook is up next. Okay, so before we move on to Hook, I did want to show off the Repro labels that I've applied right here on the front of the shovel part. We've got a huge, this is the largest Decepticon logo that came on the set of stickers. If there's 5 sizes, so I would say there's an extra large, a medium, a small, and then an extra small. And this is the largest of the 5. So as you can see, you can split it apart. I just used an X-Acto knife, sliced it right down the middle, and then made sure to rub it down over the edge, and then you plug it back together. Not like that, of course. And it's hard to do this through the viewfinder, and then just goes right on back. Very, very seamless. So I'm really digging that. And then here I used a medium size logo, so logo sticker. So this, I would say, is this is twice as small as this one here. So yeah, I'm digging these logo stickers, man. These they're making this third-party figure basically become a masterpiece figure for me. So digging that. So let's take a look at the next figure, which is going to be Hook. Okay, so we have got Hook here, and again, I don't know if this is an official placement or not, but I have his gun, which is a new mold gun from the last 2 we've seen, and I just have it plugged in right back here on the back of his crane. So again, we'll see this guy here in a little bit. Looking at the crane itself, it's pretty articulated. I'm gonna have to zoom all the way out for this guy. It's pretty articulated. It can go up quite a ways. Can come down. It can extend out quite a bit, and then the hook is articulated. There's no rope system. There's no pulley. It doesn't extend down, and that's pretty much the extent of Hook's crane accessory. As you can see, it's quite long. It's very, very cool, and it does rotate around here at the base. Which is really nice. It's on a nice ratchet joint. It doesn't go all the way around, but it has a pretty good range of movement. And this basically is one of the parts formers that we have here, because the crane is not actually part of the transformation. You can actually just unpeg it from the back here. It plugs on to 3 different posts. So we'll just go ahead and take that, get that out of the way. We'll bring that back in when we have him in robot form. And as you can see, 6 wheels, rolls nice, and let's go ahead and get him transformed. So what you want to do is, I think I'm putting him in Devastator form. No, you don't do that. Spoiler, this is for Devastator. But we're going to go ahead and not do that. So first thing we'll do over here is, I do want to point out this is Devastator's head. Right here, you can slide this out. This is part of the Devastator transformation. And there's his head. But this will actually form part of his foot. And it is worth noting that the extra head that comes with the newly sculpted head that has the movable mouth, that I'll do my best to show off later, does not have a green section. There, close his mouth. Does not have a green section on the back of his head. So when you, if you use this head and replace it with this one, it's just a ball joint. It just, you see right there, just pop on and off. You actually do not get the green part, so it's not as incorporated. But I'm not a fan of that particular face. I like the one that actually comes, the old school one. I actually like that best. So anyway, to get this guy transformed, you can start at the back or the front, wherever you want. But let's start with the legs. So what you want to do is come here in the front and sort of work these pieces apart. And there you go. You just want to separate them out, and you want to lift up these panels right here, which, if I'm not mistaken, are actually kind of like the knee pads. And then you just want to unfold the legs. You guys have, as Transformers fans, have done this particular move hundreds of times. And that's it. Done and done. Feet are done. So because this is the head and it's on a ball joint, there's a little bit of foot swivel on that side, but none really on this side at all. I don't think so. No. So there we have it, and so there we have his legs. Up a little. Get this tilted up a little bit. You can take. You can see basically head here, arms folded up here. So we're just going to work these two halves apart here, and you can see that this arm is tabbed in right there, so you just kind of want to work that little piece out like that, and then just unhook that side. And then these are very tough ratchet joints with these arms. These are very well made figures, so you can just rotate the arm down, unlock the double jointed elbow, which is very nice, and there you go. The hands do not rotate, the hands do not open or close. They are sort of sculpted in that particular position. I already know where my Decepticon logo is going to fit, right there. And then you just rotate the head up and flip the head up and then rotate the head around, and there you have Hook. I'm not sure why that's not focusing, but while that's working itself out, you could do one of two different things with this. You can actually reconnect this to here on his arm, and you could do this on either side if you wanted. But here you can have Hook holding his crane. You can actually rotate that all the way around and have it in Hook form. That's kind of cool. You can also put it here on this arm. Just plug it in on that peg right there, and then you can also put it here and have it coming over his shoulder, like some sort of cannon or whatever. You can do that as well. So let's bring his weapon back in, put it in his hand, and show off the many pieces of devastation that Hook can wrought. Hook is one of my favorite, probably my second favorite robot form. He just looks really, really nice. I'm really digging this robot form. That's one of the reasons that I went with the MakeToys version of Devastator and not the TFC Hercules figure, because I'm just not a fan of the way those figures look in robot form or vehicle form, and of course the color is wrong. It's a little too much of a rich green, whereas this is more of a lime color, which is more accurate. So let's see if the zoom's going to work here, and if we can get a better look at Hook's head. There we go. Now the camera wants to play nice. Very G1. Look at that boxy head sculpt. It's absolutely perfect. Okay, we got 3 down and 3 to go, plus the big bad boy. So let's get this guy turned back into a vehicle. Check out where the stickers are going to go, and then move along. Who's next in our? All right, we've got Long Haul coming up next. So let's take a look at those stickers. Okay, before moving on the Long Haul, I did want to show off exactly where I put the Repro labels here on this guy. I did want to go ahead and put a purple Decepticon logo. This is one of the small ones, not the extra small, but the small, right here on the side. This is the arm port. This is the port where the arms will plug in. So that's where that is. And because I really wanted to see it from the front, this is one of the white Repro labels that came with the white set. So I plugged in one of those right there. And what I really like about it is it lets, since it's a clear back, it lets the color come through. So even though it's white, it still looks purple. Looks like it's got some color because the color from the window is showing through. So pretty nice. And then, so I kind of like that. Not really functional, but then again, this guy really doesn't need to see out the window to see where he's going. And then right here on the chest plate, I used one of the extra small Decepticon logos, so his chest plate. So even in robot form, he'll be representing Decepticon side. Decepticon life, yo. All right, so let's go ahead and take a closer look at Long Haul, the big dump truck of the group. Long Haul is one of my favorite vehicle forms. I love the way this guy looks. I love his big bulkiness. He's like twice as wide as everybody else almost. He's just a big, meaty vehicle. Again, I really couldn't find anywhere to plug or stick this gun, so I stuck it up his ass. That's what I did. I literally just kind of set it between his feet and his hands, and that's really the only place I can find it. So I don't know if there's like an official place to plug it in, but I couldn't find it. So basically, the gun is like this, and you can rotate it down, and this is how Long Haul uses it. When it's in this form, this is part of the gun for Devastator. So we'll see how that works. So since we're going to be using this for Long Haul, we'll go ahead and rotate that down and set it to the side. And then he also has a couple of other weapons. These are detachable. These things will look like they're designed to look like large pistons for Devastator. So, but another thing you can do with them is you can take them apart. This end looks like a flathead screwdriver, and you can rotate this around. And then this one, you can wiggle it apart. Pull it out, and it looks like a Phillips head screwdriver. So they are Constructicons. So Long Haul has 2 screwdriver parts that will look like pistons. I haven't even put these on him as weapons, but they're cool nonetheless. These they're not metal, by the way. That's just like vac metallized plastic. They're just plastic. So we'll set these aside. We'll look at them again a little bit later. And then for Long Haul, he's got his rolly wheels. Because of the nature of the transformation, you can rotate the front wheels as if he's turning. But there's no dumping action, and the bed is very shallow. But at least it is a solid bed. They could have constructed this in a way to where it was hollow or more open. So I'm glad at least it's a solid bed, even though I would have liked it if they could have built in a dumping mechanic, because dump trucks are one of my son's favorites. Now, while I didn't buy these toys for him, they definitely are mine. He does like to play with this guy, and he still like puts like little leaves and stuff in the back. So I know people are probably cringing right now, but look, my 3-year-old, I mean, you know, one of the ways I get to get my wife to sort of accept my toy hobby is to sort of every once in a while, you know, pawn them off as, you know, my son wants to play with them. So it's a nice tactic. It's working well for me. So not gonna complain about it. So to get this guy transformed into to robot mode, you want to do a couple things. One, you want to lift up the front of this, sort of his roof. You want to lift that up, and then you want to just sort of start disconnecting this back part right here. You just want to like separate it and pull these pieces apart. These are going to be his monstrous arms. And go ahead and swing those out to the side for the time being. And we'll take a look at the instructions, because I want to make sure that I get this right, because I haven't transformed him too terribly much. Because, like I said, my son loves to play with him in truck mode, so he doesn't stay as a robot much around here. So what we're going to do is going to go ahead and rotate this part down, pull these wheels down, and then we're going to lift these little panels up. Just kind of get them out of the way. Now, the legs are kind of tricky on here. Before we go any further, while the tires are out of the way, we're going to go ahead and fold these little bits in. And, you know, you would think that this part would be the front of him, but this is actually going to be his back, and this is the front here. So we're going to get these things sort of out of the way completely. And what we're going to do here, and this is kind of the trickiest. I would say long haul is probably the trickiest of all of them to transform, but once you get it down, it's pretty much easy to do at that point. But one of the things we're going to do is we're going to, I believe, rotate. No, we don't rotate that. Rotate the legs all the way down, and then we're going to take these pieces here and fold them down onto the sides. So now you can see there's a little peg right here and a little hole, and those two will lock together. All right, so we have that done. And the legs now, what we'll do is we'll fold these little bits down. They sort of accordion downward, and then you can take these tires and put them to the side. Now the back part of this leg, you just want to fold down and fill up the back of his calf right there. And you can see that that little piece there becomes the heel spur for the foot. So we'll do the same thing here. Rotate this down, accordioning it down, and pull out the foot. And, you know, you can, if you want, kind of tilt these legs around to the back if you want to. That's not the official transformation. The official transformation is they are on the sides, but they do have the ability to turn back there if you want them to. That's totally up to you. What you want to do here on the arms is you want to take this piece, that's the flatbed of the truck, and fold it on top of itself. And then you'll see that the dump truck hands, the sides of the truck actually disconnect. And when you fold these parts under, you can see how the arms are formed. And then that snaps apart and becomes the elbow and the forearm. Same thing on this side. You want to rotate these pieces up, lock it down. I don't know if that was on camera, but here, I'll show you. We'll rotate this part upwards, press it in, then press the lower part together. Work the hand free, and then work the elbow free. And there you have it. Rotate his arms around to the front, and then you can just pull his head out, rotate it around. And there you have a good, nice look at the head sculpt on Long Haul. Love this faceplate. Love his head sculpt. It's very Grimlockish, which is kind of nice for a big old meaty character like this. Let me zoom out here a little bit. I am zoomed out as far as I can go, actually. So you can see this guy is pretty beefy. He's almost like, yeah, bring it on. Let's do it. And then, you know, you can do a couple of things, like stand him up. That's a fun thing to do with him. You can bring his gun in, and you can put the gun in his hand so he can hold his gun. I don't like Long Haul having guns. I like to think that his arms are like these big, massive, like pounders, like these big pistons. You can put the pistons on his arms if you want. You can attach them places. I mean, they fit in, but he can't hold them. I mean, I guess he can hold them as a weapon, but he can't hold them like he would like a hammer or a sword. But he can hold them as a gun or a weapon. But they look kind of silly like that. So that is Long Haul, and I'm thinking he may receive a white Decepticon logo right here, or I may have to offset one of the purple logos. But there's no clear central location to put a purple logo, so he may just get a white one right here on his chest. And I may do that and show it off before transforming, because I'm not sure you can see that part once he's in truck mode. I think that part's kind of hidden. So let me get that sticker on, and we'll take a look at his stickers before moving on to the next figure in our list. Okay, so I did use one of the smaller of the absolute smallest of the small white Decepticon logos to go right there on his chest. So it's really nice. I didn't want to offset a purple one, so I just put a white one right there in the center. I tried putting it up here, but I think that may interfere with the transformation. And so we're going to go with here, and hopefully it doesn't get all jacked up. But I got a ton of them, so if it gets messed up, we'll just pop on another one. So let's look and see in vehicle mode where his purple logo will go. Okay, so this was really easy. I just put one of the small, not one of the very small, but just one of the small Decepticon logos right here on the front. It was a very easy choice. He sort of got this extra non-usable cab area over to this side to sort of fill up this gap here, and it just was a natural fit, almost like they were wanting me to put a logo there. Had this not been available, I think a white one right here on the grill may have looked really nice, but I like that purple Decepticon logo right there in the front. So, all right, that's going to do it for Long Haul. Let's see who's next up. I'm thinking it's going to be... it's Mixmaster. Okay, so let's take a look at the cement truck. Okay, so I said that Long Haul was one of my favorite vehicle designs, and I would have to say that Mixmaster here is my absolute favorite design. Love the bulkiness, the stockiness of this vehicle. I don't care that the cement mixer drum does not rotate. That does not matter to me. I like there's an articulation point right here due to this being a foot. I just really like the look at this thing, the boxiness. Again, I don't know if this is the appropriate spot for the weapon, but it does sort of plug in there nicely, as you can see. Just putting that peg right there into that little slot you can see right there. So I know that I'm going to be putting a Decepticon logo on the drum because that's where it was before, and I may, I don't know, put a white one right here on the windshield. That may be a nice touch, or maybe two small ones under the windows, on the doors. I'm not sure how it's going to go, but this one's really going to be decked out as a Decepticon Mixmaster cement mixer, no doubt. One of the things I want to show you with this and Scavenger, or Scrapper, it's coming up next, is it does have a little, what are those things actually called? A tow package. It does have a little hook right here on the back, and this little section, another part of the parts former here. This is actually the hands, the forearm and the hand of Devastator. You can see there's the hand. You just close this back, and that makes the forearm and the hand, which is articulated, which is really nice. But they even made these into like little portable, I'm guessing, for lack of a better word, generator. These little things can come out. I don't know if this is actually part of a... If you could use this as part of, you could use this as like part of the cement mixer, but it does kind of go on there and it becomes like a little trailer that can be pulled behind, and it's not bad. It's pretty cool. I like the fact that they at least tried to integrate these pieces into the vehicles themselves. So now let's get this guy transformed. He is also one of my favorite robot modes as well. So what you want to do is sort of come around here. The tricky part is sort of separating the front part of this cab. It's really locked in there together pretty well at several different points, and it's always the piece that gives me the most trouble with this guy, because you want to use an appropriate amount of force, but you also don't want to do anything to break the tabs. Sometimes it helps to go ahead and rotate this part upwards before separating it, so you can try that as well. So you just want to go ahead and unfold the legs. You want to fold up the bumpers, fold the legs down like so. They're going to be at an angle. It's going to look kind of weird, and then you just pull the feet out, and then inside the feet are the actual heel spurs. So you want to pull that out, and there you have it. So from the side, it does look like the larger bottoms of the lower legs are actually at an angle, but they're really not. They're kind of upright. So Next thing you want to do, here, let me tilt the camera up without knocking my mic off. I've done that several times today. But thankfully, through the magic of editing, you guys have not heard or seen that happen. So, you can go ahead and disconnect the arms. They're sort of tabbed in on the bottom. And you rotate them down. Just rotate them up and unlock everything. And the hands do rotate. No, they do not. Oh, that's weird. They look like they're able to rotate, but they actually don't. Ah, you tricked me. So you just want to untab it, rotate it down, and thankfully the ratchet joint at the shoulder is not as tough as we saw earlier. I believe that was it on hook? I believe so. So I'm going to pull these down. This big hunk of piece does not move, and you just want to rotate the head around. And I would say that he also, for me, has my favorite head sculpt. Let's see if this is going to focus in. Why is this not focusing? So, I do want to back out a little bit and show you some of the articulation on this guy, because he is probably one of my favorite robot modes. So, you can see here, let's grab his gun. Got that nice machine gun mode going on. Rotate his head, and you can see some very nice articulation with this guy. Some nice ankle rocking going on to make sure he has a pretty sturdy stance. And there's not more articulation I can really ask for from this guy. He's got a nice waist articulation. He can get into some pretty crazy poses that most Transformers can't get into. And besides having this big clunky piece right here on the top, which is very G1 style, he's pretty dang awesome. There we go. There's a pretty good shot of Mixmaster's face. Really like the little, I mean, I've heard people refer to them as like cat whiskers, or he looks like one of the members of Kiss. But yeah, it's I dig this head sculpt. It's crazy cool. It's definitely one of my favorites. I'm trying to figure out where exactly I'm going to be placing his Decepticon logo here in robot form, and I'm coming up short. Maybe I'm thinking probably in this black area, a little white one right there on the black area on his chest, or maybe a small purple one, or maybe a small white one right here. I'm not really coming up with a good place right now, but let's go ahead and get the sticker on, and then I'll show you what he looks like with the sticker on in vehicle form. Okay, so I can't say that it's my most favorite placement, but this is the smallest white Decepticon logo I have, and it just would not fit in this area right here. So it would have either hung off the bottom or the top right here, so I decided to go ahead and press it onto that circle. That's not the ideal placement, but it'll have to do. Luckily, this is one of my favorite robot forms, so I think the strength of the robot form will have to overpower the placement of the Decepticon logo. So let's go ahead and get this guy back into cement mixer form and get the big Decepticon logos on his barrel, on his drum. Okay, so if this guy wasn't one of my favorite, or if he was not my favorite before, he most certainly is now. This guy is completely decked out with both white and purple Decepticon logos. I didn't want to put it like on the barrel as if it was crooked. I wanted to put it like straight on. I didn't want the logo to be parallel with the front of the drum. So I went ahead and made those straight on both sides. I think it looks pretty nice. I can't say enough about Repro labels, man. They just really, they really bring out these third-party Transformers. And then I put a white one right here. Went ahead and split it right down the middle, and it separates no problem. It's kind of hard to do this in front of the camera, but yeah, you can see it comes apart no problem. Goes right back together. So looks pretty nice. Yeah, this is definitely my favorite vehicle form, no doubt about it. All right, so that just leaves one last Constructicon to go on to, and that is the leader himself, Scrapper. So let's move along to Scrapper. Okay, so I would have to say that of all of the robot forms, this is one of the nicer ones, but Also, I think he has probably one of the most frustrating transformations for me personally. There's a lot of tightness and stiffness in the bar for the front axle, and that can make transforming him the first few times very tricky. And so there's just a lot going on with like the head, and I have my head exposed right here. I actually don't have it folded up inside the cab. I don't know if that's correct or not. It's really hard to tell in the instructions, but I have a really hard time getting the head in and out of the cab. I don't know, maybe my joints are just really tight. But I'm looking here in the instruction manual, and it kind of looks like his head's a little bit exposed right there, but it also looks like it could be, I can't really tell. I can't really tell if that's exposed or not. So please, if somebody who is a master at transforming Scrapper here, please let me know. This is the appropriate placement for the front axle, so this thing can kind of get a little wonky when trying to line this up and trying to get the scoop or the bucket as far down as possible. As far as articulation goes, he does have, you can lift this up, but the bucket itself does not articulate. I kind of wish that it did, like the new scoop figure that just came out that we looked at. I wish that the bucket here actually did work on a hinge. That would be very nice. But alas, it does not. And here, oh, again, not sure if this is the official placement for the weapon, but it does peg on really nicely right there. Just a little tab right there. And a little slot right there. So this too, Scrapper does have a little parts former piece. It's this engine block. We will go ahead and take this off for the transformation, and we actually won't need this again while he's in robot form. We'll need this when we get him in Devastator form, because this actually helps. This is part of the heel spur for Devastator. So I will say that I do have the most trouble transforming Scrapper here. He is the most difficult for me. So let's get started with the back. You just want to come underneath. Let me zoom out a little bit. You just want to come underneath and take these panels, which will be the feet, and unpeg them from the underneath side of his legs. And then you just want to kind of work. Oh, you know what? I'm really sorry. Before, I should have showed you this before. Scrapper is the other vehicle that comes with the trailer hitch. I couldn't think of that word earlier. And he does haul the other generator forearm hand piece, so he can pull the other one. So he's the other one that pulls the other arm. Sorry, I should have showed you that before. So we want to take the leg panels, the feet panels, and pull them down. And then you want to go ahead and separate the legs here. And rotate this piece just like that. Just rotate that up and get it out of the way. And then you want to take the legs and unfold them. Pretty standard leg transformation here. If you're a Transformers fan, you've done this 100 times, no doubt. Just getting all those panels out of the way can be a pain. So then what you want to do is, if these panels are still out, you just want to fold them over, because they will become the shins, the front part of the leg. And then what you want to do is you want to rotate this around. You want to fold the foot up like so. And then you want to gently slide this whole assembly. Here, maybe I turn around like this. You can see better. Up into the foot, up into the leg. And then that forms the foot, and you can see how it's on a nice rocker. So again, you just want to take the foot, fold it together, rotate it down, and then slide this whole piece. And it's pretty tough, and you got to be gentle, because if you've pulled it out and pulled it real tight, it's going to be kind of hard to get in there. You want to make sure it goes in all the way, and then there you have his legs and his feet done. So leave him sitting here real quick. Tilt this up. I actually really like the way Scrapper looks when he's in robot form. I really like the way all these pieces sort of come together. You just want to rotate the upper part of the robot body, the torso. I'm going to take this piece, which I at first thought this was metal, but the more I think about it, I think this is actually just vac metallized plastic. I don't think that's actually metal. I'm going to fold that up and fold this down over it. And if you can, you just sort of compact it down as best you can. So it's a pretty tight, concise package right there. And then you have his head right here. So you want to lift that up. It can be kind of difficult. And then you want to pull this part back over his head. Then you want to take these arms, the arms here, and sort of disconnect them. And this is where it gets a little confusing, because once these legs are sort of put together, the arms are sort of put together, they can be a real challenge to try to sort out how exactly to disconnect them again. It's one of the more challenging aspects of the transformation. But what you want to do is rotate them out and around, and then you want to rotate the wheel to the other side of the arm, and then fold out the hand. So we'll do that again on this side. Rotate it down, turn it around, rotate the wheel over to the other side, and then fold out the hand. I have a lot of trouble with my cab as well here on this transformer. So you want to put the bucket all the way over his shoulders and let it rest on his back. You're going to rotate the head upwards, flip it upwards, and then kind of push the cab up into the chest. His chest, the cab, should actually raise up and go above his waist. So it should tuck in nicely like that. And then that fills up this area. So no doubts at all about where this Decepticon logo is going to go. Well, I say no doubts, but now I don't know. Should I put a big white one here or a purple one right there? I'll probably go with purple right there on the silver. I think that's a pretty nice place. Let's bring the gun back in, slide that back into his hand, and why are all robots right-handed? Maybe because I'm right-handed. I should let's throw him on this side for our left-handed viewers. Spread the love around. And I got to tell you, Scrapper he is very, very nice. He is absolutely one of my favorite Constructicons out of this set. Probably my absolute favorite robot form. I just love the tight compactness of him. He does have a little bit of bulk right here, but that doesn't bother me at all. If that whole piece just disconnected and came off, it would be fine with me. And I really like that look. I like the bowl being right over his shoulders. Very nice look. Absolutely. So let me go ahead and get the sticker on this guy, and then we'll get him back in his bulldozer form to see where we put the stickers on there. Okay, so we've gotten the Repro Labels Decepticon logo on there, and I think it looks pretty nice. I used one of the small logos, not the smallish, not the extra small, but one of the smaller logos, and I think it fits just perfectly, and I think it looks great, completely representing whose side he's on, for those who don't know. So let's get him back in bulldozer form and get another logo on him. Maybe inside the bucket? We'll see. Okay, so here we have Scrapper back in his bulldozer form, and I did want to show, it's not the best placement, but I did go ahead and put Decepticon logo there and there. I don't like that the red and white show through. And I did put one in the bucket, and I did fight the urge to put the largest one in there as possible, but I wanted it to look a little different from Bonecrusher. I did really want to put a white one right here instead of these on the back before I put those on, and I just had this guy on. I did want to put a white one right here, and I actually started to do it, but then I realized that this is actually his chest piece, of course, and when it's on, it would be upside down when he's in robot form, and that's probably how these guys will stay on my shelf. And if you can see down in here, there is his upper chest piece, so we'd have one that was, upside down when he's in robot form. So I do, whether it's official or not to leave the head out from underneath the cab, I like how at least this covers up the Decepticon logo that's upside down. So there we have the labels on Scrapper. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get each one of these guys ready for their for their purpose and their part of Devastator. So since we already have Scrapper out here, let's go ahead and get him in his foot form. And, you know, let's talk about a little bit about the fact that Devastator is very unique, very unique in the fact that I think he's the only combiner that is made up of 6 Transformers instead of 5, and that's pretty cool. And I think he's the only one where the leader is not the body. He actually makes up the leg, so that's pretty cool. So the first thing you want to do is you want to bring the bucket up this way, all the way. Basically, you're almost completely done. You just want to bring the bucket up, and then you want to take the head, however you transform it, and kind of move it out of the way, pull it down a little bit, and then you want to bring the if you have trouble with your cab like I do with mine, you may want to go ahead and move this down first. Move the cab down a little bit. Mine likes to come disconnected from time to time. And I guess this is one of the times where you would actually put the cab over the head and bring the bucket back forward. This little thing that looks like a smokestack is actually going to become a piston. So what we're going to do is it's sort of like a fake piston. We're going to rotate it down, and we're going to just tuck it barely inside the cab so that it looks like, you know, there's a heavy-duty piston in there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to rotate the lower part of this downward, like so. Or maybe we bring them back like this. That's what we do. Sorry about that. We're going to bring them back like this. And so basically you can see that there is a slot right there and a slot right there and a little bit of parts former right here where we took the engine block from him earlier. We're going to slide that in there. Sorry, this is pretty cool because I've never done this before. This actually says to bring the head out and turn the head around. I did not know that. So that would actually be another part of the inside of the foot. So, and this is the part that I'm trying desperately to get correct. So it took me a minute to get that in there properly, but you basically want to put the flat part on the bottom, and as you can see, mine just kind of sits in there loosely. It definitely doesn't plug in tightly. So hopefully I'm doing that correctly, but it is supposed to help hold these two pieces together. Mine does not serve that purpose. But if you look, you can see that we now have the leg formed. And there's a guy walking by my apartment window. And as you can see, the leg is on quite a nice ball joint, so that gives the foot a very nice ankle rock. And bending down, you can see exactly where the top of Long Haul's legs are going to plug in. So we've got one foot created. Mixmaster will form our left foot. And what we do here is we just start off by... Sorry, if I'm not mistaken, that does have to open up. So taking Mixmaster here, and what you want to do is you want to open up the top of his cab, and you want to take these pieces and get them. Sometimes you have to separate this for this to work, but what you really want to do is take these two pieces here and rotate them out like this. And then you want to connect everything back together. And then bring the whole leg back up again. So, let's see. Yeah. And so that becomes flat and stable once you plug everything back in. And you can see here, again, nice ankle rocker, ball joint. We looked at this when we saw him in vehicle mode, and you can see right there where Long Haul's other leg will plug into, and they snap in very nicely. And as you can see, we have our two legs ready to go. Let me zoom back out a little bit. We're as wide as we can get. So we have our two legs here. So next thing we're going to do So we're going to work on long haul. So what you want to do here is, like you're going to transform it, you want to open this up, rotate this down, this whole section down, bring the wheels down by the side. You can see here now where exactly the legs will plug in. You want to separate this section here and bring these down. And you can fold the arms in. And you can really turn these however you like, whatever looks good to you. I think the official transformation is to have them like this. And the reason for that is where these pistons are going to go. So each one of the pistons are going to fit in right there. What I like to do is I like to take this hand and rotate it around like that so that the piston lays in there a little more flatter. So we just take the hand, disconnect it, rotate it around like that. Get the other piston, put in there, and have those down. They just hang down by the side. You want to go ahead and rotate the legs on downward. You want to bring these pieces down, get them out of the way, and you want to connect the body back the same way we did before. Now these pieces here are going to come in, and these will form sort of the crotch piece for Devastator. And they're on a very sort of, mine are kind of tight, but they have popped off before, ball joint. So when this sort of lays flat, then sorry, I did that off camera. You want to bring these down so that this can lay flat, and then this creates the shelf, and you can see the connection points here, here, and here for where hook is going to connect, and you just want to make sure that they stay tabbed together. So what we can go ahead and do is bring our legs out a little bit, bring in scrapper here, and very, very nice snap as they connect in. Same thing here. Very satisfying snap. And there we have Devastator's lower half formed. And I am definitely going to have to back the camera up. Okay, so we're going to be working on this upper part. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take long haul. And what we're going to do with long haul, hook, we're going to go ahead and remove the crane. We're going to take his body, and basically we're going to snap him in half. Hopefully you snap him in the right way. I don't think this is in focus. And before you get ready to connect the two pieces together, okay, so before you sort of connect these two pieces together, you definitely want to, what you want to do is you want to get this hook out right here. You just want to rotate this out. It's a little hook, and it's going to plug in right here. So get everything kind of lined up, push that little hook upwards a little bit. All right, this is kind of hard to do through the viewfinder. Lock the pieces together, and then just make sure that hook is pressed in there, and that really keeps the two halves locked together. Then you want to take the head, I'm going to rotate the head upwards, and then it's on a little slider. You just want to slide it over so that it's in the center of the two body halves, and there you have it. And there's a pretty good look at Devastator's head sculpt. This is probably a really good opportunity to go ahead and look at the second head sculpt that comes with this figure. It comes with this set. I don't believe the first Devastator set, the yellow set, came with this head. I think this is new to the green set. But you can see he does have a completely collapsible head. Now, you can see that he does have a mouth that kind of opens and closes. It's a little harder to close without collapsing the whole head. The other thing he has is right here on the side, these two little red tabs, you can slide that down, and he has a little visor. The head also opens up too, so there's that. It looks really nice. I'm glad they included another head. I kind of dig the opening mouth, but For me, I like this. I like the original head sculpt just fine. So we're going to go ahead and put this on the body. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. And this can get pretty tricky the first couple times you do it, but then it becomes pretty easy. You just want to line up all the tabs and then sort of find a really good place to... You know, I forgot to do this, and that was to push these pieces in on long haul before. And there's a pretty satisfying little click that you can hear once the whole piece is sort of locked in together. And sorry, that's really coming out of focus, isn't it? If I back up a little bit, you can see how he's coming together. It's coming together quite nicely. All right. So, next thing you want to do is Scavenger. And the arms are pretty easy to do because there's not a whole lot to them. Basically, you just want to turn it up this way, untab the tracks from the bottom, pull this piece out like that, tab the tracks back in to the base of the body, rotate this down, and you're pretty much ready to go. That's all you really need to do. One of the things I didn't show you here is, let me zoom back in. Sorry guys, I'm still getting used to my my new camera. Just having the ability to zoom in and out while doing a video review is something I haven't had the ability to do in a while. So you just want to lift these panels up here on the side. There's one on each side. These are where the arms lock in. Lift that up. And you want to take one of the arms, and hopefully I grab the right one. And you want to open this piece up, rotate the hand out, snap that back together. You want to open up all the fingers and rotate the hand out, and there you have his left arm. So now you want to grab this one, the one we actually need, open it up, rotate the hand out, close it back, extend all the fingers, get the thumb out there, and now you have the hand ready to go. Let me move this guy out of the way so it doesn't keep trying to pull focus there. And then you want to take these two pieces and just fit them together, and you'll hear a very satisfying click when they lock in. Now the way you want to unlock them is there are two little buttons right here, and you just press those in, and then that releases and you can pull it apart. So there's no way the arm's going to come apart once it's in there. So same thing here with Bonecrusher. Not a lot going on. You untab the tracks. You want to pull the arm mechanism out. You want to put the tracks back together. You want to tab them back in. Basically the exact same thing as with Scavenger. Rotate the arm out, and there you have it. I think you may actually turn that around. No, you do not. You leave it just like that. You can take the arm, slide it in, very satisfying click you'll hear. It's in there really good. And then our arms are ready to go on. So I'm going to get Devastator back here in the middle. See if I can get this raised up a little bit. Turn around here on the side. Same thing here. You're going to hear a nice little click because you have two little pressure points right there. Nice click in. Same thing on this side. And that's not in all the way. There we go. And you can leave these up or fold them down, whatever you want to do with those. Then you just want to get the tracks back in because they're going to come unpegged. That's normal. And, you know, if you want to rock the crane up this way, or if you want to have it pulled down, you know, like that, however you want to do it, kind of looks cool out to the side like that. And now let's see how far out I can actually zoom. See if I can get this guy all in frame at one time. I may have to back him up quite a bit. Oh, now he's too far away for me to play with him. But there you have him. He's all in one big piece. I may actually have to move and get around this microphone so I can show you some really cool features of this guy. So let me do that real quick. So real quickly, I do want to show you how we put his gun together. So basically what we'll do is we're going to take these two little guns here, and they sort of fit together. So we'll press them together. Let me move Devastator out of the way so the camera will focus in on these guns. So you press these two together. Then you take these two guns. You want to go ahead and rotate the handle downward because that's actually going to become the handle that Devastator himself holds onto. And then you want to fit these two pieces together. Press those together, like so. Then the two guns we just had, you want to fit those right on top. You can see how everything fits together. Nice snap. Zoom back out. Then you want to take these two halves. You want to fit them together, like so. And then you want to close this little, you just want to push that up. So then you can take this whole thing, put it on there, and there you have Devastator's weapon, which is pretty nice. I actually really, really like this gun. And then one of the really cool things you can do is you can still slide the little gray pieces out. And you can make his cannon even longer by doing that. So let me get away from this microphone. Let me get around my whole camera assembly and move in a little bit closer so I can show you some pretty cool things about Devastator. Okay, so we're not actually finished with Devastator yet. One of the things we need to do is we need to fit the crane back on. So what we're going to do is we're going to extend the crane all the way out. And then right here, at this bracket right here, that's actually going to be a joint. So you could bend this backwards. And then, turn him around, you can connect it right here so that it kind of sits on his left shoulder, and it turns around right there in the back. Kind of folds, kind of runs down the length of his back. So there's that piece that we haven't done yet. And then the other piece is this. This is another part of the parts former, but you can see it's got a long peg, two little small pegs here, and it's going to fit in right here, and then this long peg is actually going to fit down between the two halves of the body. There we go. So it's kind of fidgety to sort of fit in. But there, it snaps in pretty nice, and you have a very, very nice, as you can see, the purple crest right there on his chest. Let me zoom in a little bit on that so you can see. Looks really, really nice. Now, I want to zoom out. I want to back this guy up because one of the most impressive things about this guy is how articulated he is, even in robot form, in Devastator form. And what I really like is I can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Decepticon logos visible. Maybe I should have put one on the sides here so that I could have 6 of them visible to represent each one of the 6 Constructicons. So I just wanted to show you. So with the arms, if you pull this flap up, these arms actually can go 360 degrees right there. Both arms can. So that's pretty cool. They can go in and out, and you can bend the elbow. The elbows look like, it's not a double joint, but you've got a fantastic range of motion. You can, it almost serves as a double joint. I know that there's a slot in here for this gun to slide down into so he can hold it. There we go. Let's see here. There is waist articulation. It is a little hindered by the back of Long Haul's arms that are hanging down where the pistons are. But if you were to, you know, get those up a little bit, you can, as you can see, you can bend at the waist, or rotate at the waist, I should say. His legs rotate all the way up, like he's in a Broadway show, because they have a very nice knee joint. And you know what? I believe that I actually mistransformed this. Because, yeah, I did. The green part should be in the front. So let me fix that real quick, and we'll get back to the leg articulation. Yeah. Okay, so no wonder he could kick high like a can-can dancer, because I had his legs mistransformed. I was supposed to turn Long Haul's leg pieces all the way around to where the green parts are showing, so that his knee would then bend in the appropriate spot. So now, as you can see, well, if I'd moved this stupid tire out of the way, that his leg can bend backwards. So maybe I should rethink doing this whole review thing. I don't seem to know what I'm doing. But to my defense, A, I'm not feeling very well. I don't know if you can hear my voice. And B, this thing has a lot of moving parts. So, but yeah, I am still an idiot. So there you have it. I mean, you can move this guy around. He's got very nice articulation. And the fact that you can get him into some pretty surprising poses. I mean, getting this guy to form a Devastator in and of itself is a miracle. But the fact that, you know, that he is articulated and that he can pull off some pretty amazing poses is, it's just, I mean, it's an absolute marvel of engineering, this piece. He's pretty fantastic. He looks very impressive on the shelf like this, but I just don't have the room. I can't display this guy like this. He will have to be broken down, and the 6 individual robots is how he's going to live on my shelf. But I do want to bring in some other Masterpiece figures, just so you get a feel for how they stack up. So let me go grab a couple of those real quick. Okay, so I want to slide Devastator out of the way and bring in MP10. So anybody who has Masterpiece Optimus can see how he stacks up. And what I want to do here is, because he's actually sort of squatted down a little bit, I want to try to get him in the most upright position possible without having him fall apart into 6 individual Constructicons, which just happened off camera. So, pretty upright pose. Here he is up against Masterpiece Optimus MP10. So, pretty good size comparison. I like that he's bigger than MP10. I like that he kind of towers over him. I should have looked at the vehicle modes up against some of the vehicle modes of Masterpiece figures, just to give you a scale. Sorry about that. I should have done that. Here he is up against Masterpiece Grimlock. About the same. Pretty much the same. He and Optimus are... He's only slightly taller than Optimus. And here he is up against another Decepticon, Masterpiece Soundwave. So he towers over Soundwave. Very nice. And the smaller guys, my personal favorite of the more recently released figures is Masterpiece Smokescreen. So he is adequately taller and very imposing, and I do think would cause quite a bit of panic for the smaller Autobots. So there you have it. There is a very lengthy review of the MakeToys Green Giant Type-61, however it's named. This guy is absolutely fantastic. I love him. I can't recommend him enough. He is very expensive, but for me, not being a Holy Grail figure, he is one that I really want in my collection to have. So, because what Decepticon team is not complete without the Constructicons. So, as always, we're going to ask if you guys dug the video. Please like, comment, or subscribe. Be sure to check out all of our new toy reviews right here on youtube.com/Ungrownups. So until next time, peace.